Hey guys, what is going on? We're back with Disc Golf Chat. Today we are going worldwide. First time in Europe for us. We're here with Estonians, Albert Tamm. Albert, how are you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to come on. We always appreciate because y'all guys are so busy and taking time away. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to us. First off, sponsored by Latitude. How long have you been sponsored by Latitude?
Mm, well, I think my journey with Latitude started quite early as I started playing. So I got picked up by like Latitude Baltic team, kind of like maybe resembles like a street team. So
Mm-hmm.
I got pretty fast into Trilogy Plastic. But I think 2017 was the time when I really joined the real team of
Mm-hmm.
Latitude, and ever since I've been with Latitude.
Yeah, I've said this for quite some time now. If I could be sponsored by anyone, it'd be Latitude. I just love the plastic. I love how it feels when it comes out of my hand. It's so good, just so good.
Yeah, I think like what sets Latitude Plastic apart is a little bit more grip and a little bit more, I don't know if like a little bit more softer compared to other plastics. So it's if you like a little bit more grip, that's the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried the new disc, the grippier discs?
The Project Grip ones, I
Mm-hmm.
felt them. For me, they're a little bit too soft, especially
Mm-hmm.
like playing in the hotter climates. I don't think it will work for me.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think if you like battle a little bit with some colder climates, I think it will be really good.
Mm-hmm. So I was thinking that for like snow and with really cold conditions because I have and it's not one of those. Where is it at? Oh, it's over there. A softer pure, and I was thinking as it gets really cold and we play winter disc golf, I'm like that might be a little better than my gold that I have.
Yeah, I think it will be trial and error at this point. I can give you like a certain guarantee. Um, if you really want like great thing for the winter season, try to find I think it's like Snowline or something like that. I don't know if they anymore make it. Westside had it under the name of Elasto, so it's a little bit. It's way more gummier, but it will work great into wintertime.
Oh, okay. We'll look for it. All right. First question we usually ask. Oh, by the way, if you want to support, you can go down below, and we have links for Albert's Latitude 64 discs. So definitely go down, check it out, buy you something nice. Especially with y'all should have some discounts coming soon too.
Yeah, I mean the Black Friday isn't too far away.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, that's crazy how fast this year has gone. How did you get started in disc golf?
So picked up the game 2014. That was like the first time I was like I kind of knew what the game is, and I
Mm-hmm.
was playing badminton at the time, and a lot of other badminton players were playing disc golf outside badminton. So I was like, I kind of knew the game, and like I was pretty eager to try it out. So, and eventually 2014 autumn, I found myself on a disc golf course, and pretty much ever since I was able to like whatever time I had outside badminton free, I was playing disc golf, and that even included the winter time. It like didn't really matter what kind of season it was out there. I just really wanted to play, and um, but the first time I actually played disc golf, but I wasn't aware that I was playing disc golf was 2010, and yeah, I was just throwing frisbees, and like I just got the frisbees from recreational facility,
Mm-hmm.
and I went out there like, okay, what do I do with this? And then I see like, oh, there's a basket. Well, it makes sense. So I just found myself from walking from one basket to another, And I would say forehand came quite naturally, but like pretty soon after I took up I picked up the backhand as well, and then it was a weird time where one was working and the other one just completely like I forgot how to use it. So there was like some weird momentums where, and for example, if I skipped a day, like it was pretty much like going back to zero, just starting the process all over again. So that was maybe one of the more vivid memories from the beginning. But I started to complete compete pretty fast with some local weeklies, and then eventually I made it to some C tiers, and I think quite fast I also made my like first transition into like international scene into Finland because the level over there was higher, and like especially at that time like 2016 2017, that was like where for me the next level of disc golf was so easily accessible. So I was playing quite a lot in Finland, and from there I transitioned into Euro Tour, which was like covering more sides of Europe and like more players meeting them. And eventually 2019 was the first time I made it to the US, and yeah, and 2022 was my first full year on tour.
So, what was it like the first time you came to America?
Uh, do you know the game Grand Theft Auto?
Yes.
So that was the experience, like legit. So we flew into LA, and the first we got there pretty late. So we got to the hotel, slept the night, and the next day when we were driving to, so we were living in a Class C RV with four guys, Linus Carson and Håkon Kveset, maybe one of the more known ones from the group, but four guys total, kind of like the size of me. And so yeah, we went to pick up the Class C RV, and like we were standing in the lobby there, and like all the playlists, and like I was when we were driving the taxi there, like everything was just like this is like the game. It's like that was like the first thought I had.
That's hilarious. Because my first thought was you were like, yeah, people were getting beaten and mugged on the side of the road.
Well,
So,
so the Class C RV was our only like driving option as well. So we did drive it to downtown LA. We somehow even found a parking spot, which was pretty
wow.
insane because so right now I also travel in the Class C RV, and I know for sure that like I'm never going near a city that big, especially
Mhm,
towards downtown. So it's like
mhm.
like when I look back to that trip, I think I have one of the more cooler memories, but I'm I'm happy to experience them one time, no, not
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. I drove in New York City one time. That's it. New York City is terrifying to try to drive in. I've told people they have lines on the roads, but no one pays attention to them.
Yeah, I had I was driving through New York also this year, and they have especially low bridges as well, which is like a thing with RV. You gotta know the clearances,
Mhm.
and there's so many lane changes and stuff, and I was like, if I make the wrong turn, like probably I'm gonna cut like at least some part of my roof off. So, but fortunately I made it through. But like I'm definitely looking a way around the town.
So, what was the biggest differences from American disc golf to European disc golf?
So, like my first time, probably the thing that was that people are perhaps putting pretty good. Like overall, when you look through different divisions, putting is pretty solid for most part throughout the divisions. Um, Course wise, I didn't really think there was that big of a difference at that point.
Mhm.
Maybe perhaps the thing that surprised me the most was, for example, Memorial was like maybe the biggest event I played that event. or that trip, and that was like from the video, I didn't really understand that it's like how busy is the traffic in the park, and it's like a public park in the
Yeah.
like one of the biggest national tours that the U.S. has at the time. So I think that was like pretty eye-opening for me that like you can have like a disc golf park in a park that busy because like I felt like in Estonia and like it's still a little bit of a process that like we can't really coexist with like these public parks. There are like some public parks where we have a disc golf park in, but
Mhm.
you can probably count those like on one hand's finger. So it's like that was like I don't know, a cool way for me to see like it can work if both sides kind of like I don't know sacrifice a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah, it's one of our local parks. One of my friends is like, he loses his mind because you just generally see someone just walk across the fairway, and he's
Yeah.
like, it's like this doesn't happen in golf. Why is this happening? So it's really interesting to see. But what about the spectators though? Is there a difference that because I remember Paul McBeth back in gosh I can't remember what year it was. He said I dream one day of having the crowds that he would see in Europe here in America. He dreamed of having those kinds of crowds, that enthusiasm, that excitement, those cheers. So, did you see a difference that, or do you see any changing in it?
So okay, like I will forget the um like the first time experience. Maybe I'll come back to current time. I
Mm-hmm.
do think that why the European side is a little bit more excited is because like we get this like for a certain time and once a year. But in
Mm-hmm.
US it's like it has been there for a while and like you know the
Yep.
tour pretty much doesn't change so much from year to year. So like the um I don't know what are some of the more common spots. Like for example, Waco. Like every year there is a stop, so the people are kind of used to it. And like, whereas like I don't know some other town that's like kind of like from the side from the tour stops may have the same level of excitement and people will come watch, but it's just like the tour never kind of goes through there. But
Mm-hmm.
Europeans like they just get that same glimpse for just like a way smaller time frame and like to take the most advantage out of it. I think that's my logic behind it. Why like perhaps the um, European Open especially gets so much crowd and like all the like Scandinavian people and even further down from South Europe people come to watch it.
See, that was kind of my thought too. It because I was like, it's like in America, it's like a traveling circus. Like you're going to see it every year, but when you get to Europe, it's like it's a very special thing that, and I kind of was said I was like maybe some events like Waco, Toboggan, and Emporia. I was like, why not kind of alternate those like every other year or something? Maybe that will help the crowds. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be. I think it may happen this year because you can see some of the um, like classic events being dropped, like Jonesboro, DDO.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe they have like a break year, and then they will be back next year again with some. They take a little bit more time to really rebuild, make something cool, like yeah, add a little bit more extra value thanks to
Mm-hmm.
this.
All right. Yeah, I am really bad at this because I always try to go chronologically and then I totally mess it up. Let's go back to pre disc golf. You were talking about badminton. I,
Badminton.
yeah, were you? Because I looked up some stuff. I was like, wow, you look like you're pretty good at badminton.
Yeah, I was pretty good at what's that junior levels,
Uh huh.
and then I have won like titles in national level, and also played in the not overseas, but like in Scandinavia and like in the Baltic tournaments. So I played a little bit internationally as well. But like for me, the change to disc golf, I kind of realized that like the jump from junior level to adult level, it's like a little too big.
Hmm.
It's like the percentage that I will kind of succeed in it is like it's there, but it's like more like 25-30%, whereas 75%. So that was like a key moment for me to decide like I'm gonna go disc golf at this point. And also my body was like um, not taking the load from badminton that well.
Hmm. Well, you're a big guy. You're a big guy.
No, I
Well,
wasn't that big at the time, but like of course like so I didn't really do like strength training at the time. Maybe that
mhm,
could have been like a game changer for me. That could have helped me give me the condition to like really pursue badminton as like a full-time sport.
mhm. Because when I met you at U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship in Burlington, is where I actually first met you. So
Oh yeah, that was a fun course there.
I want to play that course so badly. I want to play all three courses on that property. Some amazing courses there. But I was like, man, bigger in person than I see on TV. I was like, wow, big dude. Now, when did you won 5 Estonian championships? So when did you win your first one?
I won my first one in MPL in 2018, and
Hmm.
then I won I think four in a row. So 2021 was my like last of that stretch, and then I took a year off, got second 2023, and then this year I won again.
Oh. So what's it like winning your national championship?
Mm, well, this year was like a little bit different compared to the other ones that I had. I think for me, winning at the national championships, like for me, it's like statement. I'm the top dog. This is the statement, and like for me, that I have, I think I have one of the I may be the most. It's like maybe I'm the guy who has the most wins at nationals. So that's
Hmm.
like I don't know. It sets like a standard for me, and it's I don't know. That's kind of like that what it resembles to me. But yeah, this year was like a little bit different to compared to the other ones.
No. So I can't imagine. Well, I mean, I'm American, so winning the U.S. National, that's massive. So I mean, I just think in whatever country you're in, if you can say I'm the best in this country at anything, is a huge statement to make. And seems like the Estonians are coming. All of Europe, like it's like every year, it seems like all competitions getting better and better. Is it that way in Estonia, where the MPO is getting better and better every year?
Yeah, I would say, for example, where uh, when I compared my first year of winning, there was like not being bad about it, but there was maybe like 6, 7 real contenders.
Hmm.
But right now the level has grown so much that like I think in at nationals we have like at least 15 contenders that like there are of course like favorites, but I would say there are guys that like if they have the weekend and they put it all together, they they will stay on top and like they will be contenders for the title.
I have this question. Um, might be early. Do you plan to play more on the Euro Tour or Tour US?
My focus will be mostly in the US because so I have athlete visa that allows me to tour US full time,
Hmm.
and I do think that the level is higher in the US, and I kind of believe that. No, kind of. I believe that the tougher competition, the better you will get also.
Hmm.
So I think that's like one of the main reasons why I focus more on the US tour. As the year, like, so my plan is to do this till 2026, and of course, every year we kind of don't know what will be the next year, but that's my plan. And after that, I will see what happens then.
Hey, what's it like to leave your country for multiple months on end?
Um, well, at first it's like I do have like a lot of experience living outside Estonia.
Hmm.
So I spent a lot of time in France, Italy, and yeah, now in the US for a while. So I do think maybe the toughest parts are like um, certain amount of loneliness that comes with it. Um, like maybe the difference between living in Europe and outside Estonia and living in the US is that like in Europe it's you know it will be 3 hour flight tops to go back home. But in the
Hmm.
US, it's like it's a trip, so it's like not
Yeah.
so easy to like um, overcome whenever you get homesick.
Hmm.
Um, and I would say for me, the toughest part was trying to figure out the system because every like when I first came 2022, that was the time where I had to figure out a lot of paperwork and like just do a lot of like basic work perhaps. But like for me, it was like baby steps in a way. I was trying to learn to walk in a way. So a lot of like that process is kind of like it takes a lot of effort to like figure it out. But once you figure it out, I think that when it gets easy and as I've been touring 3 years now, I would say every year the life gets easier. I figure out better systems, how to operate, and also um I don't know. I also get like new challenges in a way how to even take the next level to comfort. But it's not really that difficult anymore, I would say.
When you first come, how was your English?
I think it was pretty okay.
Hmm.
I've been English, like I've been quite okay with it. For most part, like I do know I have accent and like sometimes I get stuck on words, but this one definitely has gotten better over the years. But and also I read a lot in English too, so I kind of like I take new words from there and like I try to like implement them into my vocabulary, but it's not so conscious process. So it kind of like every once in a while I find a situation where I remember the new word and I feel like this is the slot that it fits, and then I kind of like put it into conversation. But yeah, I've been quite okay with my English, I would say, and I think a lot of it comes because I was playing badminton internationally in Europe too, so I was able to have like a first experience how to chat with a foreigner who also was speaking English. It came quite early, and I do think also video games had their part to like figure English out.
That is awesome. That is awesome. How many language can you speak?
Conversation level, I think Estonian and English are the only ones. I do
Okay.
understand a little bit of Finnish, but it's like pretty disc golf based. It's like
Hmm.
because Estonian and the Finnish are pretty similar overall. I can kind of like figure stuff out as they speak, but like I feel that understand more than I can talk.
Hmm. Because I have a friend from Sweden, and she come over. She's like, "Oh yeah, we grow up. We learn English as well as Swedish." And I was just wondering if in different countries, if they like here, there we teach English, but Spanish is our like second language. So I was just wondering if English was like a second language for your country or other countries.
So we kind of have like we study Estonian also. Then
Hmm.
I think we start English. I don't know what grade, but we start English the earliest compared to other foreign languages.
Hmm.
And I think from sixth or seventh grade, no sixth, we either pick German or Russian, and they will also go all the way till high school, and then I think in university we don't really study any more language.
Oh, this is absolutely true. Uh, Coldwater Surf God said, "You speak English better than a lot of Americans, like me."
Well,
No, you
thank
do.
you.
You speak very well. And I've heard
Oh,
Kristen
thank you. I
talk. She
appreciate it.
probably speaks very well. And because to me, that to me seems like that would be the most terrifying thing for me if I went to Europe. I don't speak any of the languages. That would be just terrifying to me. Just being in a country like they're speaking, I don't know what they're saying. Like trying to order food
Yeah,
and
I understand.
not know the language. So
Yeah, I think like why English speaking countries a little bit easier. Like you don't, it's not specific language, new language you gotta pick up. For example, like you're going to German, you gotta speak German if you want to like speak their native language. But like in a way, English is a little bit easier in that sense.
mhm. Yeah, my friend from Sweden, she was like, if you come, you could speak English and most people will know what you're saying. I was like, oh, okay. So maybe I'll go to Sweden. What is your like some of your favorite European courses?
Yeah, Tampere I think is one of my favorite competition courses. Like the shot variety it offers, and also like the distances are up to the tour standards. I think. Um, what else in Europe? I like the there's Anikoro course not so far from me. That's like I would say one of my home courses. It has like a great mix between woods and open courses holes. So do like that as a practice course. There's one course east side of Estonia, Mädaguse. I also think that's like a great competition course we have here in Estonia. And I wonder if there's any else. Yeah, I think those are like the first ones that pop in my mind. There are definitely some that I would like to try out, like the one in Norway, Krokol. That's a one that I haven't been to, but I do know it's rated one of the highest courses in the world.
Hmm.
And I think Sweden has Ole Disc Golf Center. That's I played that in 2018, but then it was like a little bit of work in progress, and I heard it's like now it's like reached its peak form. So I'm curious to see like what it like really looks like.
Is there did you play what's the name of that course? Valhalla?
Yeah, I played it for the PCS Open.
Hmm. I, I I just see the one hole and I just want to go there just to play the one hole. You go down through the gates. I was like, that just looks
That's definitely
so
a course
beautiful.
that has one of the yeah,
Oh,
there
go ahead.
are definitely like one of the most insane views that I've seen on disc golf from a disc
Mhm.
golf course.
Let's see. Let's see. See Moogly. Do in Europe, do y'all have any disc golf courses that are put on ball golf courses like we have some in America?
Yes, there are some. Like in Estonia, there isn't really. I do know in Finland there's one that has been, so it doesn't function as a golf course anymore. It's like a disc golf course built on a old ball golf course, in the same way Krokol that used to be a ball golf course. I do know there's one course in Croatia that is like you can play golf there still, and there's also like I think 9 holes of disc golf. No, 9 baskets of disc golf, but you have 18 tees. They have kind of this format. Um, and I think no, okay, that's in the US. But yeah, I think those are the like only ones that I kind of know.
Hmm.
And I think the one in Croatia is the only one that I know that like functions together with golf.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if in Finland has like some of those options out there.
Hmm. Do you like the more open courses or the more wooded courses?
I prefer wooded courses a little bit more. Like I do like the tunnel shots. Like my preferred course is like 50-50, so there's both. But
Yeah.
I do like wood courses that like you have this, for example, stick hyzer flip lines or turnover lines. I think those are my favorite. And the tighter it gets, the more enjoyable or a more enjoyable time I have out there.
See, I like wooded, but when it gets a little too tight for me, mainly because I just don't have the accuracy. And what is your favorite course you've played? Your absolute favorite? Is that the one in Norway? No. No.
Hmm. I don't think what. Yeah, I think Tamm right now is my favorite
Mhm.
because, as I said before, there's like just the challenge it offers, and it's like I know it's like it's testing my limits, and I do like when a course offers me that challenge. And I do give like speaking of challenging courses, I do give a lot of credit to TDs because they kind of do a little bit of ungrateful job. For example, whenever they push the difficulty of the course to the next level,
Mhm.
because they will get such a shit ton of reviews that people don't like it because we don't like to change. But I think like at least from my own experience, I see that like because of the course designer pushes those boundaries, you are also forced to get better. So it's like um, something that I like. What I value myself as in course design is like whenever the course whoops my ass, it's a great course. I enjoy it.
That's a great way to think about it because at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I think the best thing for disc golf courses is when you're done and you think, if I play that course again, I'm going to do a lot better. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Um, Now, speaking of ball golf courses and what TDs do to courses, 2024 Worlds was here in Lynchburg. I say both courses were approximately 5 miles from my house. What did you think about the New London course? If you remember which one was which,
Can you say the last question again?
I said, what did you think about the New London course for the 2024
Oh,
Worlds?
I did like. I liked it. I did enjoy the elevation and the tight OB. For example, I think golf courses we have way too much room to work with because we got all the skies and fairways to work with. I think we should, because we have so much room, we should be a bit more precise. And I think Ivy kind of offered that for me, that it was like a little bit more specific with OB, a little bit tighter, a lot of cool elevation.
Mhm.
For some reason, I thought it will play tougher. There was like I think one hole that was I think just impossible in my opinion, but you had to make I think it was 14 or something like that. That was like on this crazy slope.
Yep.
I think I was like I kind of like understood that how it's like one of those like you can get to that circle too, and you have to make a decision like are you gonna run it or no? Because like if you hit the band or any other instrument besides you're gonna have the most insane rollaway you can ever imagine. So I did like that factor that you had to make a decision. I'm gonna go for the birdie. These are the risks that I'm willing to take, and like there's nothing unknown at that point. You made the decision. You knew the factors. so I kind of like that side of Ivy, and yeah. But I was surprised that it played pretty low.
Yeah, that hole. People that don't know which hole that is, that you're talking about, hole 14. Look up James Proctor's rollaway. You'll know what hole it is from that rollaway. Oh my goodness, that was brutal. Nicholas, and if I mispronounce names, I apologize. I'm bad at it. Nicholas Antela, his rollaway on that hole was brutal as well. Um, yeah. See, I played that course again. I'm not good, so I mean, it was so difficult with the OBs on that course for me. And in New London, what did you think about New London course?
As I understood, I think we got a little bit of softer version of it. We didn't
Yes,
have
the
all
first
the
three
OBs
holes.
as it was. Yeah. So I was kind of disappointed in it. I
Me
was
too.
like, I think it's world championships. So I think the best players are here. Why not give them the toughest course? But I liked it. I think it was kind of complemented Ivy pretty well in a sense
Hmm.
that like it was perhaps a little bit more. For example, like Ivy, like you can find your stroke or swing pretty fast because it's open course
Hmm.
and you have a lot of room over there to work with. But like the wooded courses are tough in a sense. Like if you're a little bit off with your swing, like you're just gonna hit a tree. There's no like real room to work with to like figure out what's going on. So yeah, I think they both complement each other really well, and also New London had those, I don't know, more like placement par fours and fives. You didn't need to be that aggressive off the tee, but being aggressive off the tee also did give you some like benefits.
Hmm. Yeah. I was really surprised when holes 1, 2, and 3 they took the OB off the right side all the way down that totally surprised me. And not only that, on hole 17, they took a ton of underbrush away down toward the pin, because you would throw down a tunnel, and then there's kind of like a diamond where you could go either forehand or backhand to the pin. They cleared out so much you could almost go straight through it. It was crazy, but I think my local community did really well with the courses. So I was really happy with it. Did you enjoy your
Yeah, I
time here
think
in
the
Lynchburg, by the way?
setup was really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a great time in Lynchburg. So I came, I think a week early. I can be wrong with the place, but Leesville Lake,
Yep.
maybe somewhere there. I was at a campground. It was cool that it was like in the middle of nowhere, and I had like no reception once I reached my campground. So it was a great time, like just being off out of like cellular service. I do value that at certain periods. Um, I got to see what's that, Liberty University. I did go run and I did run through the campus. It was cool to see the school. I think just had started, and
Yep.
I was able to go to train in a local CrossFit gym. That was cool experience, and I did something else too. Oh, I did go to do a fieldwork session at, I think it was university course or something like that. They have like insane soccer fields, like just
Oh,
underside
yes,
of the forest,
Lynchburg
close by the
University.
disc
Yeah.
golf.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was like one of the more insane field setups that I've ever seen.
yeah. It's got I think it's a soccer field and a lacrosse field, like back to back. It is massive field. That is literally like 2 miles from my house. So
Yeah,
I get to go down there
it
and
was
throw
like
whenever I
one of
want
the
to.
better compliments.
So yeah, hey, if you're here this year, let me know, and we'll play around somewhere. Um,
Yeah, I hope to qualify for the tour championships. Then we'll be back there.
no, don't hope it will happen. If you believe it, you can achieve it. At least I've heard that. I believe that's true. 2025, Finland. What do you think about that? I mean, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I think it will change some perspectives of the sport. Definitely, we'll see something new that we have perhaps haven't seen before in disc golf.
Mhm.
I'm curious to see what it will be. I'm also curious to see like what will be the amount of U.S. players that will come overseas, and I do hope that they will tweak the courses even more. And I think Juice is a great guy to do it who doesn't back down from the challenge.
Mhm. And I'm so excited to see what's going to happen to that event. Everybody that I've heard on the pro side from America, which I haven't talked to a lot of people, mind you, but they all seem to be really excited and hoping it becomes a regular rotation, America Europe. So I'm hoping that happens too. That'd be awesome. What is it like playing in the, if I mispronounce it, the disc golf festival there in Estonia?
Yeah.
I mean, what's that like when
Well, it's
you walk out of that tunnel and they call your name and you walk back up and throw? It's like that looks so awesome.
yeah. I think it's I do think that event pushes like or like uh widens our like current view of how you can run an event. Like a lot of the stuff there has been like first time ever in disc golf, and I do think like next year when we will have the European Open or like yeah the European Open major at the same location.
Hmm.
So I'm curious to see like what are the things they come up with because I do know the event staff pretty well, and I do know how like why their thought process is like sometimes I'm just like whenever I hear the thoughts or like we've been just discussing it doesn't have to be about this event but just like everything in life and I'm like whoa it's like you see some new perceptions that I never thought before could happen.
Hmm.
But for me, like it's as a player, that event is home events are always like a little bit more special, and that venue holds a lot of value to Estonians because it has like a lot of historic background when it comes to like breaking free from the Soviet Union's power and like a lot of like uh, key moments in Estonia's history are happening there, have happened and still are happening. So this year or like last year was the first time I was playing there because we had the European Championship at the same venue.
Hmm.
So I this year I had a certain plan that I do want to test the echo of that place because the way we have like choirs sing there, so we have like song festivals, and
Hmm.
that whole thing is just filled with choirs and like pretty much whole Estonia sings together. So I was like, I never been a singer, and like only way to get under there is you gotta be a part of a choir. And I know that at least for the next few years, it's definitely not happening for me. So I was like, well, I do want to get the experience. How does the sound is from there? So I was able to test it out this year with a little bit of clapping, and that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. I mean, I would love for to to have like major tournaments have like something like that where they, I mean, I know they call out the players names and their sponsors, but I like walkout music for them. Let the player pick what song that they want to come out to but before they throw their first shot. I just think that'd be so cool for tournaments.
I think that venue also is like so unique when it comes overall in disc golf. It's like a gated venue, like you can control so many things that otherwise like are impossible at other
Mhm.
events, and it's like really compact venue that definitely like sacrifices the course element a little bit. You can't really you gotta sacrifice something when it comes to difficulty of the course, but as a event itself, it definitely adds some new elements that you can't really do other like on other venues.
Mhm. One of the things that that I would love to see and maybe just for majors, but I know they do it at the European Open, where they have a podium for the top three finishers. So at the end of the event, you can take a picture with the top three. I think they should do that for all the majors, because at the end of like major events here, it's like there's a trophy, good luck. And I think for me it would feel special. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree on this. I think we have like some events that do it. Like I think Ledgestone kind of has their version of it, but
Hmm.
uh, like Estonia had their version, like a little bit like different from the classical traditional scoreboard.
Hmm.
European Open is probably the best one that has it, like as an
Yep.
example to look
Mhm.
at. But yeah, I do agree on this. Like even like just regular events, I think us having a scoreboard like that at the tournament central will be pretty cool. Like
Mhm.
addition, it definitely will. I never been to a golf tournament, but I think it will be like like would remind me of one for sure if we had those setups. But at the end of the day, we I think there's a question to be asked. Maybe that's okay if disc golf doesn't have it. But for as a person, I definitely would like to see one out there. I think it's a cool element.
So, I mean, what made me think about it this year was the Olympics. And I was like, at the end of every event, you have the top three. And I just thought, for the majors, I think that would be awesome. But, Nate Heinold, just something to think about. All right, I'm going to go to your trading card. Oops, upside down. The 2022, isn't it? No, 2023. All right, let me ask you this. At this point, it says your go-to discs, and I want to know if they've changed. Your driver Opto X Ballista Pro.
Sticks to this day.
Nice. The mid-range, the Orbit Trust,
Yes.
still the same. And your putter, the Hard Shield.
Yeah, actually, that one has perhaps had the biggest changes. So I was putting with medium last year, and also to some extent, I think just before Worlds, I switched back to hard. But the shield has been like a staple in the bag since 2021. I did try Faiths for a little bit, but like I do like when I can throw my putter as well. I can putt with it. So and also forehand and backhand. So I did eventually find my way back to the shield, and I played around with plastics a little bit, and now I feel that the hard again is like the thing for me.
Oh, you just came from Australia, and y'all won. Estonia won the what is it? What's the actual name of it? Is it just the World Team Disc Golf Championship?
So it's I don't really know the full extent of the. I think it's up in the PDJ how it's set,
Hmm.
but it's I think we're flying discs team world disc golf championships. We're flying this federation. I think is the body of the sport there.
Hmm. So, what's that like being part of a team element for disc golf?
Honestly, I think that's the one of the most coolest events that I've ever been to. So the format works as a match play instead of stroke play,
Hmm.
and every round. So first off, you have group stages where you have like 5, 6 nations, and you have like different sort of um, matchups that generate every round. For example, the team consists of MPO1, MPO2, MPO3, FPO1, FPO2, and MP40 guy. And like through those from this group, there's some different matchups generated. Like for example, one round MPO1 and MPO3 play doubles. The next one MPO1 plays mixed dubs with FPO1, and they have the same team opposing them. And I think it's like yeah one of the more fun ones to play because and way more intense because, for example, the score doesn't matter. So I can take a 7 on hole one
Hmm.
and nothing really changed. I just lose a stroke, I'm back one, but like I still got 17 holes to go. So it's like way more intense than perhaps I anticipated. Unless you have like a little bit of cushion, but like it can just fade away so fast. Yeah, so that was the first time also for me to participate in this event, and if I definitely had the chance in the future to go back, I will be happy to go too.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the highlights or anything. I would just see on like my Facebook feed or on Instagram, I would see where teams are doing stuff and players are playing in it. And I was like, man, that sounds really, really cool to me to have all the different countries competing. Um, do you know if that's going to happen again next year, or is it going to be like every so many years, or what?
So it's every 2 years it happens. Next time will be what's that, 2026
Mhm.
or 2026 in Lithuania, I think. So not so far from Estonia. And
Mhm.
this year it worked out super well. It was like after the season, so it was not really competing with any of the standard tour events. And I think one thing that I didn't really know was that when it comes to like, for example, Olympic sports, that the World Flying Disc Federation is the only body in our sport that is linked to like Olympic committees. And I was like, I didn't really know that before, and I was really surprised to find out. So we actually had to do like a anti-doping certificate in order to participate in the event, and that was like quite eye-opening.
Hmm. I wonder is could that be a door to disc golf being in the Olympics?
Well, disc golf will be in the World Games next year, happening in China, which is like the Olympic sport of non-Olympic sports.
Hmm.
And I do think like, well, I think for us to be in the Olympics, it has to be a little bit of a perfect storm at this point. It has to be the right country, and like everything just has to align. And I also hope that because the World Flying Disc Federation is quite big, it also like covers all the like frisbee sports, so like
Right.
freestyle, ultimate, and stuff. So if we can kind of like the PDJ Disc Golf Pro Tour and like they can kind of like work together if their goal is to make it to the Olympics eventually, because I I I don't know, but it doesn't look like there is that cooperation at this point.
Mhm. See, I kind of thought maybe, um, let's see, would be summer would be 4 years from now, the summer events, the next Summer Olympics. I was thinking maybe as an exhibition event and then move forward to maybe a full event and after that. But we'll see. I hope so. I really hope so. But I'm really curious as to how they would pick players from countries. That would be very interesting as well, especially America because we got so many players, and so that'd be really interesting. Um, have you ever played an event? Moogly's asked, imagine if tour courses were blind. Have you ever played a tournament event blind? Blind meaning not that you can't see. Blind meaning that
Yeah, first time on the course.
yeah, for something
Mm,
like yeah, put a blindfold on and try it.
I definitely have, but I don't really remember. Definitely not the tour event. No.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah, definitely not a tour event.
That would be really interesting to even find a course that none of the pros have played on.
I think it will be. Uh, I think that will be actually a fun tour event. For example, like you can only just even maybe walk the course. Like you can't throw a single shot on the course for the event. I think that would be a pretty cool format, and that like to see how it levels the playground. Because for example, like there will be a guy who maybe gets 3 rounds in and guy who gets 1 round in, but like that
Mhm.
will uh, level the field a little bit. And like I will be curious to see because I think that will bring out the best guy who like, you know, is able to adapt and also knows his game the best.
Hmm. That'd be really. I like that idea. They could, like the day before, they could just walk the course, no throwing. That sounds awesome. Gannon Burr actually said something at the World Mixed Doubles. When he was standing on tee, he was like, I want to have a tournament at a really small course, like a little par 3 course. Longest hole is like 250 feet, and I want the world's best players to play on this little course. And he's like, I bet some local guy would beat us all because they know the course.
Especially like if it's a wooded one, like there are definitely some tomahawk lines in the trees that are the way to go, but you just don't know.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Um, let's see. Let's see. Gosh, I think I ran out of questions. What is your current favorite disc? Oh, none of this. Because y'all are under the dynamic disc umbrella. Can you throw the other discs as well, like West Side and Dynamic?
Yes, but we prefer mostly latitude. I
Hmm.
would say I have, I think, two discs from, 2 discs from West Side, 2 discs from Dynamic that I have
Yeah, I got the Dynamic mystery
substitutes from
box the other
latitude.
day. I'm sorry, you froze. Oh, there you are.
Oh,
Um, uh, um, uh, Coldwater Surf God said when they're testing, as long as they're not testing for marijuana and disc golf.
one thing that I found out that what's that the test we had to do, or like the course we had to kind of go through for the anti-doping thing. Every sport can kind of like set their own standards. So
Oh,
like even like marijuana can be fine, but it has to be in certain limits, for example. So it's
mhm.
like, but it will be a big investment in a way.
Yeah. So, what is your 2025? Are you going to be in America for? Can you actually just stay in America from like February all the way through October?
Pretty much, it kind of technically it's kind of determined on at the border,
Hmm.
but for me, I've been like fine to stay even years.
Hmm. Do you travel in just the van the whole time, or?
Yeah, I have like a Class C RV, and like last
Mhm.
year I got a small tow car behind it, so like this been my like most preferred setup up to this point. Uh, yeah, usually I was driving the Class C RV as my daily driver also, but like some of the like daily chores kind of like I got a little tired of, like putting all the things together every day to drive, and then not being able to use all the amenities of the RV as much as I maybe would like because of that daily hustle of putting it all together every day.
Hmm.
So the tow car has been a big game changer for me.
Hmm. Wow. So, I mean, are you renting all that every time?
No, I have my own.
Okay. Wow. Because I was like, that'd be really expensive. And you just sleep in the RV the whole time?
Yeah, I like the idea of having my own bed at every end of every day. Especially that we never pretty much stay put at some place. So at least I have something that is like same every day.
Mhm. So, what do you see your future in disc golf?
I don't really know this. We'll see. Like at this point, I do for the next 2 years, I see myself as an athlete.
Hmm.
After that, I don't. I think I need to like look this at this question again to see like what will be the answer at that point.
Hmm. How old are you now?
I'm 26.
Oh, still just a young baby out there playing. I'm 52, so you're like literally half my age.
I mean, like looking at the average age on tour, I do not feel that way. I
Yeah,
feel like I'm
yeah.
on the starting to. and especially like the PDJ number is a great example. Like whenever I started, it was like so young compared to the others, or like so high. But now
Hmm.
it's like whenever there should be like a tie, it's quite often I get the bump to the lower or higher card. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I get like a later tea time thanks to this, which is like been a thing to get used to now.
I don't even know what this means, but I will say, please say disc golf on the moon.
Disc golf on the moon.
There you go. You know what? I bet you get really good carry on the moon.
I wonder what the
Let's
trick is.
talk about some of the players you've gotten to play against and play with. Um, so have you gotten to play with like Paul Macbeth?
Yes.
You got any good Macbeth stories? All positive, mind you. I don't like negative talk.
Hmm. I don't have any like.
Mhm.
Yeah, nothing really pops in mind when you ask me like this.
Oh. This is actually what he meant when I asked about his future in disc golf on the moon, getting to play disc golf on the moon. That's what he meant, not to actually verbally say disc golf on the moon. That's on
Okay.
me. That's on me. Wait, when you first got over here, I meant to ask you this. Did you have anybody here that would that kind of gave you advice and maybe mentored you a little bit on the American side?
Not really. Like the things I pretty much. So the first two times I came here, maybe the first time Håkon had already been here, so he kind
Hmm.
of like introduced me to like some of the key chains of fast food, like Chipotle and like some other ones. Um, and then I think after that I was trying with Silver and Kristin. Um, yeah, that was like a longer period. That was like just seeing like other side of the U.S. pretty much. So the first time I was on the West Coast, now I was on the East Coast,
Hmm.
and but I would say like most of the real figuring out that was like that came with the process whenever I went there myself. And I would say perhaps the biggest impact was like having contacts with like Ricky, and at at the current time he had a tour manager Ari as well, so they gave me like a lot of like context with when it comes to people, because I think like the best life hack on tour is like knowing people how to travel around, because like if you have somebody in every tour stop, that will make your life so much easier. And
Hmm.
I think thanks to them I've learned a lot, like what's the after by the end of the day the most important thing on tour is like building relationships as you go. So you find good friends in different locations, and like you have this, I don't know, great place to compete and also like have a great time outside, of course.
Hmm. Um, what about Ricky? Do you have any stories with Ricky? I was just thinking those guys were on tour a decade before you got on tour.
Well, if there definitely there are some stories, but you can't share them. You know, what happens on tour stays on tour.
Yeah. Well, what's it like being? Did you ever go to any events and before you became a pro and just watch the other pros play?
I don't understand the question.
When you were young, did you go to any events? Not participating.
No,
No, no,
no.
as a
The first time I came to like the events that I watched was when I
you
came
were
to
playing.
play them.
Because Because I was just wondering, like, if you knew, if you could, like, what's the difference between like being inside the ropes, being a participant, versus, being someone kind of outside, wondering what they're thinking, and talking to them. Um, let's see who else. Gannon Burr. He just seems fun to me. I don't know why.
I played with like I mostly been playing with him, not really hanging out outside the course, but like I do remember like there have been couple rounds whenever I played with him, and I was just like admiring his putting. Pretty much, it was just cool to watch like how like aggressive he can be, and also like how like consistent.
Mhm. Can you putt from your knees like he does? Because his
I
putts
can
from
definitely
knees, it's incredible.
I can definitely get this to the basket
Mhm.
from like 50. Um, but I think when it comes to going in, it's 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, just watching the way he puts, and it just made me think of so many times he's been like behind a tree, like straddled out, and just throws this laser beam right into the basket. It's incredible to watch. Oh, you said you threw, not said, but you thrown 710 feet. What did you throw with on that one?
I threw a triple burst Blissa Pro
Mm-hmm.
cold line. Like these have been my like go-to distance discs pretty much ever that time because like they have like they are a little bit more understable and but at the same time they have like a little bit more stability. They're like not quick turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they glide like more than the other Blissa Pros that I've had. Um, so that was the disc that I threw, and like I think we had like one of the better conditions at that time for the throw. We had like a slight left to right tailwind, and like yeah, the wind was there, but it wasn't like insanely strong. So you had to kind of like I don't know get it out there little bit flatter. So I could just kind of like pump it up with a little bit of hyzer, let it flip over, and just ride the wind.
So, how did you get the name the Bazooka?
So that happened in 2019 at the European Open. So it was hole nine. It's on YouTube if you want to go watch it. It's round four, hole nine. Um, so that's how the moment came. And yeah, I did a bazooka celebration after a big putt, and that's how the nickname kind of stuck with me.
Do you still do that?
I haven't done it for a while now. I think it's for me, it's like feel thing.
Oh,
So it will happen like
mm.
whenever it happens, but it's like I don't do it if somebody says, "Hey, do bazooka," then I don't do it. It's like I do it whenever I want, and I feel like this is the time to do it.
So if you have an ace from 425, is the Bazooka coming out?
Probably no.
No.
But as I said, it will come down to the feeling in the moment. Maybe
There you
it's
go.
like
I like that. I like that. I like that. It's, I see some celebrations that it's like every time they do anything, it's like, dude, it's not special anymore. But now, next time I see it, I'll be like, this was a special moment. I like that. If you could pick a dream card to play with, who would it be?
hmm. Well, I think Calvin and Bradley will be there.
Nice.
I think they're yeah. I hang out with them a lot during on the tour and outside the tour, so we have great time. And I would put Simon also. I think that would be a great combo. Like I don't know how much I was thinking of a practice round, so I don't know how much of a practice round it will be, but it will definitely be a great time.
Nice. What Wow, I had a question. I literally just forgot it. I'm old. I don't know. I'll think about it later, and I'll probably text you and ask you. But that's pretty much everything I got. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't have any specific topics, but
Okay.
maybe there's some question or something from the viewers that may.
Yeah. Well, he did. One of them did say this. What is your favorite story you can tell? And this is when you were talking about Ricky, but we'll just make this like one of your favorite overall stories.
So, so I can share stories about myself. So
Hmm.
it was 2022 Masters Cup. So I think it was round one, and I pull in. So I was riding with my RV, and like the coach door kind of locks a little bit different than the other doors. So it's like it has two locks. One is deadbolt that I can unlock from inside, and the other one is like if you lock it from outside, you can't unlock it from inside. If you and so if it stays locked.
Hmm.
So I pulled into the parking lot, and I had both of those coach doors locked, and then I put my car also under the alarm, and I think I was cooking something, or maybe I had finished breakfast, and I was like, cool, I will go. I have plenty of time before my tea time. I have time to take a shuttle, and then like have a nice relaxed warm up before the round. I go out of the chassis door, boom, close the door, go to the restroom, come back, and I'm like, shit. I locked myself out of the car, and like I have like an hour. So I was like, well, this sucks. I think maybe fortunately I had my phone with me, so I could call. I think I called AAA, and like eventually I got a lot of help from the parking lot. So I figured out some of the stuff. I got all the keys were inside. I couldn't get to access to any compartments or anything, and the clock was ticking down. So I was like super stressed out, and I was like, man, I gotta drop out of the event. But I got access to some of my compartments. So I got the shoes, and I had the chance to make a bag from my reserve discs. So I was okay. I'm not gonna miss the event. I can play it. Cool. Okay, that's already eased the situation a little bit. So I kind of set the time for myself. Like, okay, what is the latest time I gotta be at the warm up? And so much. And the other time I can just use to figure shit out. Um, so I was there, and eventually a lot of people came, like Gareth Kirsty, Luke Sampson. Like we were just trying to how to break inside my RV, and so because I got access to the one of the compartments, I was able to retrieve my DD retriever, which has like those hooked ends, right?
Hmm.
And we were able to get one of my windows open somehow. And I don't know, I think it wasn't maybe locked fully in the first place, so we were able to like just get it loose. So I was able to go in and like I have it on video also on my Instagram. You can find it there. How was the process? But I was able to like go inside my RV with that retriever, and fortunately the keys were on the kitchen table, yeah. And I was able to hook the keys on the retriever, and then I was able to get the keys out and like got access to my full bag, and everything was fine. But it was like definitely a rememberable morning.
That's awesome. Have you ever been late for a tea time?
No, um, yeah, never been.
I've heard a few people being late, and it just seems like a horror story. Can't imagine
I've been
running
like
down.
close a couple of times.
I can't imagine running down the first fairway trying to catch your card. I actually did see that at U.S. Women's last year in Burlington. One person missed their tee time, and she was running down the fairways like, I can't believe I missed it. That was quite interesting. Quite interesting. Well, first off, thank you so much for being here. I had a great time. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was a lot of cool conversations.
Hmm. And let's see. I know I'm going to be going to Winthrop this year. Oh, but yeah, that I did want to ask you about that. What do you think about Winthrop?
I like that venue. I think it's one of the few courses that really test the mental side of players because like all the shots are pretty stock shots out there. So
Hmm.
it's like there isn't like I don't know something crazy out there, but it's like just a margin you can be off.
Hmm.
That's like different compared to other courses, and it's like instant stroke, and like worst case you'll be throwing the same shot. So it's like I do like that factor over there, and it's one of my favorite, like definitely top three course for me to play because of that thing. And as from looking at like a wider picture, I think it's definitely one of the better events to go to because of the player village is a little bit different where compared to other places, and because it's a little bit more open course and a little bit more compact, perhaps you can find like a good place where you can see multiple holes. So it's
Yep.
and usually the weather is pretty good at that place too.
Yeah. I went this year for the first time, and I've seen it so many times through the years. And as I was walking the course, I'm just like, oh, I remember someone so throwing over there. I remember that shot over there. I remember this over here. And it's like I'm seeing ghosts of great disc golf past. So
And it's definitely different in person, like compared to video. Like I do remember like first time coming in the US and playing the course that I've seen also from the video. It's definitely a different feeling to really play it. And some of the things are not as bad. Some things are pretty scary.
mhm. When I was I got to walk the course with one of my friends who was playing in it, and the hole that surprised me the most was hole two. It's basically straight uphill, and the pin is right beside the gravels. And I always thought watching on TV, I always thought it was a straight shot, and then it turned to the right. And when I got there, it's like, well, there's no turn here at all. So it really surprised me. But the rest of the course was pretty much as I thought it was. But that hole just really threw me off.
Yeah, and I think 18 also has way more steepness and elevation than it looks from the
Mhm.
video.
Mhm. That is one thing that's really tough to really get on video. Like when I'm playing courses and I record a lot of my rounds and stuff, and I'm like, the hill is much steeper than you think it is.
Yeah.
But I just thought I just thought about Winthrop. I was like, yeah, I ask about that. But that's all we got. Again, Albert, thank you so much for your time. I always tell people, you can get back just about anything, but when you give someone your time, that's one thing you can never get back. And I hope I make people's time worth it when they come on. And thank you so much.
No, thanks for having me. It was a great time.
Okay. And that's all we got. And you guys have an incredible day.